Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, page 389. Page 389 is 380. 380 is 389. Chapter 2, Communication. The book Attack for Humor, Virtue of Courage. Courage. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, the mind's a terrible thing to waste. The truth will set you free. Take heed in these lessons. Dr. Martin Luther King began his doctoral work at Boston University Theology School. We are dealing with reliable sources. Somewhere I read with the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read the freedom of press. Somewhere I read the greatness of America is the right to protest for right. The Constitution of the United States gives the equalities and freedoms with hope to spread understanding between people. And so, just as I say, we are going to let injustice turn us. And so, just as I say, we aren't going to let injustice turn us around. We aren't going to let injunction turn us around. We're going to transcend and exceed exceptional standard. We must stay determined and excel. Author's comments. In this section, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 regular section quotes. This section is what I call the regular quote section. Depending on how many quotes there are in the regular quote section, it transitions the poem into what I call the legal brief classic scale. This poem is set to a scale of 7, meaning of it goes with and comes off of page 1300, chapter 17b, Mathematics. Chapter 17b, Mathematics, page 1300 is poem Creative Imagination is a numbering system that correlates throughout the entire Bible. In this page, Creative Imagination, Nature's Way of Math to Love a Country, Einstein with calculation that evokes and invokes scales put to mind. Number 7. 7 is for luck. I got my rabbit's foot and featured feet, lucky socks, and my fingers crossed. Seven. Regular quotes. Transition the poem into a legal brief classic. Scale 7, meaning luck. How does luck work? The magic of excellence. The magic of words. The first regular section quote. Applause is a spur of noble minds, the end and aim of weak ones. Charles Caleb Cota, born 1780-1832. Second regular section quote. During the movement that called them citizenship programs, people were actually taught the skills of nonviolence. Yolanda Dennis King, daughter of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. She was born November 17, 1955, passed May 15, 2007. The third regular section quote. Having lost my father and grandmother to gun violence, I will understand the deep hurt and anger felt by the loved ones of those who have murdered. Yet, I cannot accept the judgment that killers deserve to be executed. This merely perpetuates the tragic, unending cycle of violence that destroys our hope for a decent society. Reverend Bernice King, daughter of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. Fourth, element, fourth regular section quote, life too precious to waste to spend on anything but the best. Life is too precious to waste to spend on anything but best. Dexter Scott King, son of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., born 1961. Fifth, the chain reaction of evil wars producing more wars. Martin Luther King III, son of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., 1957, born 1957. Chain reaction of evil wars produce more wars. 6. Regular section quote, you are never given a dream without also being given the power to make it true. Power to make it true. You may have to work for it, however. Dream destination truth quote. It's a dream destination truth quote. 7th, regular section quote. Favor, kindness has converted more sinners than zeal, eloquence, and learning. And then that was 7 quotes, 7 regular quotes in this area. In this area. 7 regular quotes in this area constitutes seven regular quotes transition the poem into a legal brief classic, scale of 7, meaning luck. How does luck work? The magic of excellence, the magic of words. And this section is what I call the regular quote section. Depending on how many quotes there are in the regular quote section, it transitions the poem into what I call the legal brief classic scale. This poem is set to a scale of 7, meaning of it goes with and comes off of page 13, chapter 17b, mathematics. And so now we're moving on to the element ingredient section. The element ingredient section is right here. Normally there's 3 mosaic element ingredient section quotes. For this is the element ingredient mosaic section. The first element ingredient section quote is a Ch2. The second element ingredient section quote is a element number 10. The third element ingredient section quote is a recipe number 15. And it goes with page 3. Page 3 is a cake-like Bible for the body of the Bible, the elements that make it. A cake-like Bible for the body of the Bible, the elements that make them subject, article, poems. A cake-like Bible for the body of the Bible, elements that make up the subjects, article, poems. The cake-like Bible has a constitution, backdrop, key at the Oxford Exchange, D, or a cake-like constitution recipe to build an excellent mind and habit foundation. Buy a karaoke machine for the music to increase and heighten, improve your senses, and or royal karaoke. So, the recipe Bible, elements and ingredients, 2 and 4 says 2 through 17 is the element ingredient section, and the money making modern reality sections 18 through 20. 18 through 20 is 18, 19 book recommendations, 20 music selections, 21 music choice. 1 through 21 is a constitution like backdrop, a key, backdrop key, like a backdrop key is. 1 through 21 is a constitution like backdrop key, a cake like Bible for the body of the Bible, the elements that make up the subject, article, poems, after and below the author's comments. This list below does it. So on this page, the first one is a 9. 9 is comedy, tactful humor, laughter, joy, bliss, education, quality improvement, checkpoints, and or romantic comedy. Second element ingredient is 10. It's element number 10. Element number 10 is maximum words of wisdom. And the third element ingredient is recipe number 15. 15 is Disney fairy tale truisms and progress of love words are more than not only the positive imagination. The element ingredient mosaic section. The first one, tactful comedy lessons, humor, the art of communication, checkpoint number 9. In this section, I always normally did 3 of these. This first one is checkpoint number 9. There are so many people who have lived and died before you. You will never have a new problem. Somebody wrote the answer down in a book somewhere. Will Smith. He's at bio 853 in the front of the Bible. Number 2, hey, apply it. Words of wisdom. Element number 10. Listen, encourage, say something, do something. Be yourself. Love. Reverend Dale Turner, American minister. Disney fairy tale truism. Recipe number 15. A man should never neglect his family for business. Walt Disney. Number 39, page 1486. Walt Disney, born December 5, 1901 to December 15, 1966. The next section is the wit, humor, pickup lines, magnanimous pull lines, relationship lines. There's always normally 2 in this section. First one and the second one. First one and the second one. First one and the second one. The first one is 3 grand essentials to happiness in life are something to do, something to love, something to hope for. Joseph Addison line. Geography is important as much as love is necessary. It's the second one. Australian line, Southwest Sea, Perth, Cuff of, Bike between Southeast Sea, King 1, Melbourne, Newcastle, Sydney, Canberra, V, Kangaroo, Australia, Cooktown, Northeast Sea, Great Barrier Reef, Naked Coral Sea. And in the 21st slot, 18 to 19th through 21st slot is book recommendation, music selection, movie choices on page 3. And so it's been I chose music, it's in slot 20. And in slot 20 I chose Dr. Martin Luther King's favorite song, one of his favorite gospel songs. If you've seen the movie Selma, you know that one of Martin Luther King Jr.'s favorite gospel song was Take My Hand, Precious Lord, by Thomas A. Dorsey. The late Mahalia Jackson sang it at King's funeral in Atlanta in 1968. The reason why I named this poem Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, when I first originated it, I thought of the word junior, and he wasn't no junior to me. Even though his name is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., he's more like he's the only king I know. So that's why I didn't put junior on it. Page 389 is 380, chapter 2, communication.